Welcome, cooks, to the Recipe Vault. Today we have a recipe card from this recipe box from Wisconsin. We are making M&M cookies. These are kind of interesting because they're using shortening, so they're going to spread out. Remember, we saw that during the Joy of Cooking Betty Crocker battle. They're going to spread out. They're going to have M&Ms, and we're going to let Eric do a taste test. So welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So cooks, this is going to be fun today because this is actually a brand new recipe collection that I managed to get. It is probably about 90% handwritten on recipe cards. And what's fun about it is a lot of them have like the name of the person, whoever created this collection, the name of the person whose recipe is it. So we have Robert's homemade sausage. We have Grandma's sugar cookies. It's a really fun collection, and I'm really excited to dive into it. So today, we're making M&M cookies, right? So this is an interesting recipe because it is shortening. So remember when we did that little test between the Joy of Cooking and the Betty Crocker cookbook, and one was butter and one was shortening? The butter stayed as a round cookie and it was like higher and fluffier, and the shortening spread out. We got shortening today. Whoops, my oven just preheated, and we're going to be making the wider, thinner, more spread out cookie, right? So I'm going to put this recipe up on my website so you can get the whole recipe. There's no name on it, so I have no idea where this recipe came from.
We haven't tried it or tested it, so we don't know if it works.
So with the Recipe Vault, as you guys know, these are handwritten recipe collections that I've gotten from all over the place. We don't try them out in advance. We're doing it straight here, so we're all learning as we go, right? So we're going to start creaming. We have shortening here, we have sugar, and we have brown sugar. So the interesting thing about this is like a cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of regular sugar. So today we're using the Zacme. This is the 5.5 quart stand mixer, and we're gonna do a little creaming here. So we got a little light in there.
Yeah, we can actually see what's going on.
Yeah. We're gonna get a little speed action going on. And when you're creaming something, you want it to be light and fluffy. So one mistake people make with cookies is they just don't let it cream long enough. So they just combine those things. But if you let it keep going, it will get fluffier and fluffier, especially with butter. Butter, it becomes really fluffy. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock down this little bit here. Whoops. Got a little bit more on my spatula. So we're going to go ahead and let this cream maybe 3 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, so it's looking very nice and fluffy, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to lower this down. I'm going to put in a couple eggs. And of course some vanilla. Beautiful. You know, when you're using a planetary stand mixer and it starts to do that, right? As a cook, you're like, yeah. That's what I love about a stand mixer. So we're going to take some flour, and I'm going to take some salt and some baking soda, and I'm going to go ahead and stir this up. And we're going to put in our dry ingredients. Usually when you're making cookies, it's wet, dry into wet. And your cream, sugar, butter. Sugar is like considered a wet ingredient. Have my little beater blade chute on here. I love this thing. And we're gonna go ahead and get our flour in here. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Let's give it a little scrape. Pretty much got everything incorporated very very nicely. And we have our M&Ms.
Look at the M&Ms.
Yeah, M&Ms like chocolate chips, but M&Ms.
Oh yeah, they got the little coating on it.
I just want to fold this. I don't really want to break these up very quickly. No, it calls for a half a cup of M&Ms. So the question is this enough M&Ms for you, Boo?
I don't know.
How's that look?
Should we ask our special secret guest?
Our special speaker Judge.
Debbie. What do you think, Debbie?
Oh, add some more.
So she says cheese.
Why did I know that was coming? Will that impact the baking?
I don't know.
So we're making a double M&M cookie. So let me go grab some sheet pans and let's get these cookies in the oven. So it's time to form our cookies. So what I tell people is the best thing is to get you some of these Vollrath dishers. These things work great. They don't fall apart like ice cream scoops do. I'm using a number 10. The way these dishers are, you can find them, I'll put links down in the description, but you can find these at your local restaurant supply store. They use them in restaurants so they get consistency between the cookies. The more they're consistent in size, they're going to bake up at the same time and you're going to get consistent results with your cookies. So this is a number 10. It's a black handle. Every number has a different handle. Number 10 is a 1 ounce, right? So, and these things, the Vollraths are so easy because it has a really easy trigger. It's like, bam, you can form your cookies, an entire pan, in like seconds. I have the red one, the tan. I have the yellow. I use the yellow a lot. The yellow makes really big cookies. Number 10 is a good size.
Two more important things here. What do you think, Debbie? Can you make out all the M&Ms in these things?
You sure can.
Yeah.
See, we're not playing hide and seek.
Double M&M.
Uh-huh.
So just like that with the Vollrath, right? Mm-hmm. Boom. So I'll put links down in the description for the Vollrath dishers. They're amazing. So I'm telling you, in less than 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
However long that is.
How long does it take a lamb to shake its tail twice? You have made an entire dozen cookies. Hopefully you hit it right on the sheet. Unlike what I did. Right, so just even out your little cookies here. If you want to freeze these for later, like if you make a double batch and you want to freeze some of these cookies later without baking them, put them on the sheet like this. Use your Vollrath disher, boom, 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 cookie dough, throw it in the freezer and let them harden up individually. Then put them in like a zip top bag, or you can even like food saver them. And then the next time you want cookies, take them out in the morning, thaw them out, and bake them off, right? So we're going to put these in a 375-degree oven. I have it at 365 because I'm running convection. And when these are done baking, we'll be back for the taste test. It is starting to look a little bit like cookies. So baking cookies is kind of interesting because you want to pull them out before they look like they're done. Otherwise, they will be overdone on your cooling rack. So you want them to start browning around here on the edges. You want them soft in here. And we're gonna leave them on the tray for about 3 minutes before we take them off. We've already done that. So I use a fish spatula. Cookies!
And they've already solidified a little bit, just sitting there.
Yeah. They look pretty amazing. They kind of look like they're a take on the chocolate chip cookie, but with M&Ms, right? These look fun.
The fish spatula.
Your kids will love this.
The fish spatula is good because if the dough is still a little soft, it's so thin it doesn't push on it. It's able to get under the cookie.
Yeah, like that. It's going to slide off my thing here. Woo!
You'll see a couple of those look a little well done.
I got one that ended up well done. And, you know, you got convection, but your convection's not.
You got hot spots.
And it's a KitchenAid convection, so there you go. Did I just say that?
Oops! Is that because your KitchenAid dishwasher?
Yeah. I'm having some dishwasher issues, so don't get me started on the KitchenAid.
Well, at least we didn't go for the trifecta and break out a KitchenAid mixer.
Yeah, we used the Zacme. The Zacme worked great. It's nice and smooth, nice and quiet. Gave us some beautiful dough. So just like that, we're panning them up. Just like that, we're panning them up. So with this number 10 disher, are we going to get...
How many cookies are you going to get?
Are we going to get a total of 2 dozen?
I don't know. Do you have 5 more cookies in there?
I don't know. Not quite. Look at that.
All right. We're close.
Look at that.
No M&M left behind, Bobo.
Slightly short. Slightly short.
Slightly short.
There you go. Bam. 2 dozen cookies.
Yay, she did it!
Yeah! Number 10 gives us a 2 dozen.
There you go.
If you make them smaller, you'll get more. If you make them bigger, you can make one big, huge cookie. So I'm going to put these back in the oven, and we will be back for a taste test. Batch number 2 is out of the oven. It's looking pretty good. We rotated this midway through, so I think we didn't have that browning issue. Look at that. Looks pretty good. We didn't have that one in the corner that browned like the last time. These look mighty fine. If they taste good, we might have another Recipe Vault winner. And this is from one of their new collections that we got.
Yeah, this is really
So whoever had this collection, put it together from Wisconsin, thank you. I wish sometimes I would know, I could tell who it was that they came from. But I don't have that information.
But we can't declare whether it's tasty or not until it's been officially eaten by a judge, right?
Yeah, so look at that. 2 dozen M&M cookies. So let's bring the judge over and let him have a taste.
Yeah.
Okay, our resident cookie tester is here. You ready?
Well, as you notice, everybody, we have 2 plates.
Yeah.
We know Amy can't eat this because we have chocolate. So that means, do the math, we have somebody else. Hi, Debbie.
We have another taste test.
So I don't want to be on the hook. This is this big of a decision. Is it a good recipe or not? I don't want my fame, fortune, and reputation tarnished, would I? No. So let's put that on Debbie. Here you are, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now I'm taking one. Ooh. So you'll see the bottom of the cookie is a nice tan, light brown. So I think that's done really well. And if you look at the edges, it's nice as well. So I don't think we overcooked them or anything.
Looks yummy, though.
And then lastly, the top just looks delicious. In fact, this whole cast of characters looks pretty tasty. So, all right, Debbie.
I'm with you.
You know, ladies first, and she's already eaten half of her cookie.
It is good.
All right, so she's happy.
Go for it.
So what do I think? I cheated. These are awesome.
You already had one.
I already had one. I found an abandoned one that Amy was hiding, and I had to snap that up. So, all right. Soft, just a little crunchy.
Crunchy on the edge, soft in the middle.
Exactly. The middles are definitely soft.
What do you think about having M&Ms in there? Is M&Ms appropriate cookie ingredient? Because they have that shell.
I think the shell is sugar, and it gives you just a little bit of sweetness that you don't get with like chocolate chips. You don't get that. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever eaten an M&M cookie that I didn't like. So how can you say it's not an appropriate ingredient?
So I think we're giving the recipe vault thumbs up.
So I think Amy did a wonderful job.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you. So I gotta go eat some cookies.
So cooks, these M&M cookies are really fun. If you wanted to make these with your kids, they would love these. Because kids love M&Ms, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. We got a cookie thief.
And ground adults too.
So thank you to the Recipe Vault, whoever put this together. Thank you to Debbie. Debbie's, right? Thank you, Debbie.
Debbie doesn't want to go on camera, but you might see her hand.
You might see her hand. Whoops, it looks like we have another cookie thief. Thanks for joining me. The recipe will be up on my website.